Hey everybody, Dylan with Daily Magic Games here, and today we're going to learn how to play Food Truck Champion. In Food Truck Champion, you're the owner of a new food truck out there trying to make a name for yourself. You hire staff, get fresh ingredients from the marketplace, and serve dishes to gain popularity. At the end of the day, the food truck with the most popularity is the winner. So these are the instructions for a 3, 4, or 5 player game. Let's run through these first so that we know what the different things do before we start talking about the 2-player game, just because that's a little bit different. So first things first, everyone gets a player board, a owner card, and a starting order card. So the starting order card has this little icon down here. It's a cutting board with a knife on it. It's also recognizable because it has a recipe, but there's nothing on the sides. Next up, you shuffle the game cards and then you deal 4 to each player. These will be kept secret from the other players, so when you receive your cards, make sure that you keep them facing towards yourself. Once everyone has their stuff, then go ahead and build the marketplace. 8 cards face up in the middle of play here. Then you put the remaining cards off to the side. This is the draw deck here. After the marketplace is built, we can go ahead and set up our popularity tokens. With a 3-player game, you're going to choose 6 of each number. In a 4 or 5-player game, you'll use all 8. So when building the popularity stacks, you basically put a critique token in the middle and at the end. So if it was 4 or 5 players, it would be 4 and then a critique token, which is one of these, and then 4 more and then one of these. But since we're doing a 3-player version, it'll be 3 critique, 3 critique. And you do this for each number. So this is 1s, and then we'll do 2 and 3. Now that everything's set up, you choose the first player, and the person who last ate at a food truck is the person who goes first. So they get the first player card and then the active player truck token. After you get set up and as play begins, you'll look at your hand and notice a few things about the game cards right away. Number 1 is that there's 3 primary sections here. We have the ingredient section, the order section, and then the staff action sections. Each card can only be used for one of its sections at a time. Next, you'll look at your player board here. This on the top left is the fridge. Ingredients that you buy from the marketplace will get tucked under here into the fridge. Down below that, you have your plating area. This is where order tickets live. In the center, you have your owner card. So your owner card is basically a wild card, but you have to spend an action to pick it up and then play it on your next action. So moving over to the bottom left, this is your food truck flavor profile. Each truck has a different flavor profile, and what it is a set basically. Like I have a set here of 4 ingredients, and for each set that I have at the end of the game, I get extra points. And then finally in the top right, we have the hired staff area. So if I hire somebody, let's say I want to hire this prep cook, then they sneak under there. Now that we know what everything does and is, we can talk about gameplay. On your turn, you can take one of the following actions. You can do market research, you can take charge, or you can lead a staff action. So to do market research, you just simply take 2 cards here from the game cards, and that takes us to our next action, which is take charge. So if you take charge, what you're doing is you're picking up your owner card and you're putting it in your hand. So if your owner card is in your hand, it counts towards your hand limit of 6. So if you pick it up, that means that at the end of your turn, you're going to have to discard if you have 6 cards already. But the owner card cannot be discarded to get your hand limit down, so you're going to have to discard one of your other cards. The third and final thing that you can do on your turn is lead a staff action. So if I lead a staff action, I have to take a card from my hand and I announce to everyone what I'm doing. So let's say I take this card and I say, I'm doing a driver action for my turn. I place it in the center of my player board and then I wait for other people to choose. So the card has to come from your hand, it can't come from hired staff, and it can't come from the marketplace. You can, however, use your owner card. If you have already taken charge on a previous turn, you can play your owner card and say, I would like to do any action. The five staff actions that you can lead with or follow do different things. So the driver takes an ingredient from the marketplace and it puts it into your fridge. The cashier moves an order from the marketplace into your plating area. The manager moves the card from the marketplace into your hired staff over here. The prep cook moves an ingredient from your fridge onto an order ticket in your plating area. And the executive chef plays a card as an ingredient from your hand onto an order in your plating area. Would allow me to do that. So once you've decided your staff action on your turn, starting with the player to your left in turn order, each other player decides whether they will follow you or if they want to conduct market research, or if they want to take charge and pick up their owner card. So a player follows by playing a game card with the matching staff action or their owner card from their hand face up to the center of their food truck board, just like you did. A player may also follow by having a matching card in their staff area. So you, as a leader, cannot pull a card from your staff area, but if somebody is following, and let's say they had a driver under here, they get to pick up that action that you took for free because they have a hired staff to do that for them already. So when performed in the action round, the market research and take charge actions are the same as if you were the active player, except for the active player token doesn't move. So if you played a staff action from your hand to lead or follow, all hired staff in your food truck that match that lead staff action give you a free bonus staff action, making it possible for you to perform the same action more than once each turn. Once everyone has decided whether or not they're going to follow or do market research or take charge, then everyone gets to perform their card draws in order. When the action round is finished, players move their lead or follow cards that they placed in the middle here into empty spaces in the marketplace. So if I did a driver action and I took this dairy, at the end of the action round, you take your action card and you put it in the middle there. And then after everyone has done that, then the active player token goes to the next player and you start the next round. If there's any empty spaces left, you can draw cards from the draw pile and put them in there to fill up the slots. Also a note, when you're taking cards from the marketplace, you can't take from underneath. You have to take the one that's on top. So if something that you want gets buried, you're gonna have to draw through it to get to it. And any owner cards that you use during your turn, you'll flip face down, and then after this, it'll be available for you to pick up to take charge with again. All right, completing orders. Let's say I used a prep cook to take this vegetable and complete this recipe down here. So that means that I've completed the order, so it goes out of my plating area, it no longer takes up the space there, put it face down, and then I discard these two cards into the pile here. Once this order has been completed, I take a popularity token from the stacks with the equal value to the number of ingredients on the order ticket. So this one had 2 ingredients, and that means that I take a 2. If there were no 2s left, like let's say that we were all the way down here on 2s, then I take the next lowest value. So I would take a 1 if there were no 2s left. So I flip the popularity token face down, so number side down, and I place it on one of the gray popularity icons on the food truck board. This expands the capacity of the chosen section by 1 card, regardless of the value of the popularity token. So a 3 is not more valuable to expansion than a 1 is. When a popularity token is taken from a stack and reveals a critique token, then you set the critique token aside and you complete the rest of the action round, and then you do a critique. At the end of an action round in which a critique token was revealed, each player reviews the cards in their completed orders pile and chooses 1 for the critique. If you have no completed order tickets, then you do nothing for the critique. The chosen order ticket goes face up underneath your awards section. So I have 1 completed order here, and what you do is you see if there are any ingredients in this card that can fit your flavor profile over here, and it counts towards my flavor profile bonus at the end of the game. In order for me to score any points with this, I have to complete a set. Each complete set of flavor profile ingredients that you collect in this section is worth 5 bonus popularity at the end of the game, so it's pretty powerful. Once all players have critiqued their order tickets, play continues as normal. It is possible to reveal more than 1 critique token during an action round. If this happens, go through the critique process for each revealed critique token. So if I completed an order worth 2 and revealed this critique token, and somebody else did an order worth 1 and they revealed this token, then you'd have to do 2 critique rounds. The end of the game is triggered when 2 popularity token stacks are exhausted. So if we're at the bare bottom of 2 stacks, that means that we are done. When the end is triggered, you continue normal play until all players have had an equal number of turns. This occurs when the active player token is passed to the player holding the first player card. At the end of the game, everyone flips their popularity tokens face up and totals up the token values. Then you take the order tickets in your awards section and you count up each set of 4 here. Each complete set earns you 5 popularity. Finally, score +1 popularity for each order ticket in your completed orders pile and in your awards section that shows your food truck logo. If it's still in your plating area, it doesn't count. If there's a tie, the tied player with the most completed order tickets that match their food truck logo is the winner. If there's still a tie, the tied player with the most popularity tokens wins. If there is still a tie, then all tied players share the victory. Alright, and that's gameplay for a 3, 4, or 5 player game. Now let's go back and review a 2 player game because it plays a little bit differently. So there's some special setup for a 2 player game. You follow the regular steps for 1 and 2, which is getting all of the pieces set up, but instead of putting 8 cards out into the marketplace, you do 6. As in the 3 player game, the 2 player game has the same number of popularity tokens and critique tokens. So there'll be 3 and then a critique, 3 and then a critique. Once again, the player who most recently ate from a food truck goes first. Give them the first player card and the active player token. You take an unused owner card from the box and place it face up to the right of the active player between both players. This represents a neutral food truck owner in the game and becomes the neutral stack. Now you can begin taking normal turns, starting with the active player and going clockwise. So in a 2-player game, there's a neutral food truck owner that takes a turn every round after the second player. So the neutral food truck owner always takes a lead action and starts an action round. You draw a card from the deck, and the drawn card is the lead staff actions. The neutral player does not actually take an action, but the human players decide whether they would like to follow, conduct market research, or take charge, then perform their chosen actions as usual. When the action round is complete, the neutral player's lead card does not go to the marketplace, but is placed under the neutral player's owner card instead. So all the other rules apart from that are the same, and that is it. Thanks everybody for watching this How to Play guide for Food Truck Champion by Daily Magic Games. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you enjoy the game. Please let us know in the comments section what you think, and we will provide links for you to buy Food Truck Champion if you don't already have it in the section below. Thanks everybody. Bye.